Hey everybody, welcome to Hawk Wins Radio Picture Show, where we are streaming live on YouTube every Wednesday night right here at the beautiful Q4 radio station.
Oh, I thought it was Monday, bro.
Feels like it, man. I don't know. This week has been quite a week. It's been weekend. How have you been feeling, Jay Smooth? What are you up to lately?
I've been all right. I'm just recovering from being sick, man. Fucking Sunday, Monday, I was fucked.
Yeah. Dude, things are kind of turning for a lot of people. I just got over being kind of sick too.
I think it has to do with something with like the sudden weather change. Went from like really cold to like now just hot. My body's all like, wait, it's winter still.
Right. Like a Midwest like 50s day is shorts weather. Everyone knows that.
You fucking.
But maybe that's our downfall. Well, it happens. I mean, it could be worse. Wisconsinites, I hear, are a lot worse. They're like tank top weather in 60s.
Our city could be burning.
City could be burning. Could be a lot worse. There's no cockroach. Well, there are cockroaches.
There's no giant rats.
No, there are giant rats. No earthquakes.
Visible giant rats.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, dude. Have you been around Lakeview alleys before? They're like the size of cats. Not that you want to pet them or anything.
We have alleys. Some cities don't.
That is true. But, you know, that's where a lot of the danger happens. And the sickness, perhaps. Look out for the next plague. Ugh. Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate it. If you guys are interested in the show, please hit subscribe down below. Share it along with some friends, too. It doesn't hurt to share. Me and Jay also got a big show on the horizon here. We rented out Reggie's Rock House. We got a lot of really great bands performing that night. Tune on in. It's going to be, let me pull up all the info. It's Friday, April 18th. We have East Moon, Luzma, Anfang, Crime in Antarctic, and Maze Garden, all at Reggie's Rock House. It's going to start. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show's going to be at 8 o'clock. Get some pre-sale tickets. Get them early. Get them often. Buy them from your friends. Buy them for your girlfriend. Buy them for your wife. But don't buy them all together and go with them at the same time.
Or do. We can't tell you what to do.
Or do. They might both enjoy it. You might start a throuple.
You might have a threesome that night.
Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have definitely happened.
Yeah.
But stay open to the universe. Come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be food. There's going to be drinks. There's going to be a lot of great music. It's also going to be a great place to collaborate and meet and network with some really great people.
Artists and stuff.
Yeah, we encourage all the artists who've been on the show to come on to the show and come check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, no, we got a great show for you guys. We got a lot of cool stuff on the horizon too. Tonight's guest is one of my very good personal friends. He is an actor. He's a producer. He directs. He also does headshot events. He does networking events. He does programs to gain people's larger reels for acting. He does a lot of workshops. He's a very good friend of mine. Everybody, please welcome to Hawk Wins Radio Picture Show, Matt Campbell.
Woo. Thank you guys so much for having me. Everything JD just said is true.
MC, love you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be on here. I've been, watching you guys do your thing, and glad I reached out and got a spot for me. So thanks for having me, guys.
No, we appreciate you reaching out to us and getting you on the show. We've been talking about it for a while too, man. You're really active in the entertainment scene here in Chicago. You do a lot, and that's part of what we do here at Hawkwinds. We want to promote local artists of all mediums, and you're really bridging the gap for a lot of people, man. Those demos that you're doing, the acting demos to build up people's reels, that's really terrific.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe you can talk to us a little bit for those who are watching who've never heard of you before. Define yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so mainly I'm an actor and a producer. So, producing a lot of different stuff. But like what you were saying, I have two companies. One of them's the production company, and then one of them's the casting company, MC Chicago Casting. And that's where we do all those workshops out of. So I think, I started doing the headshot events because I kind of noticed that, headshots could get a little pricey, $500 sometimes we're talking, just take a picture of your head, which, not everybody can afford that. And I noticed that with, artists and actors and stuff. So I came up with an idea with our good buddy, Andrew Smith. I was like, man, what can I do to bridge this gap and kind of make it a little easier for people? So I came up with I'm thinking well, if I get enough people in and then charge them maybe like, I think we started only charging like 60 or $80 to start. And then eventually I think now it's like 100, 120. But yeah, I'm like, well, if I get 15 or 20 people in, then everybody can win. Like, so then it's cheap for them. I could pay Andrew to shoot the photos, and so everybody kind of gets taken care of. And so after we've probably done 25 or 30 of those, and then after those started rolling for a while, like I noticed there's another problem. The demo scenes, it's like, your acting highlight reel basically. So you put in there scenes you've done in movies or films or TV shows and commercials and stuff, but it's the chicken or the egg. Like, what if you've never been in anything yet, So we need to make a couple scenes to show your acting capabilities. So then I kind of did the same formula with that. Some other companies in town or even in LA and stuff, they charge probably $1,100 to $1,500 for one scene, and it's a lot for like a 1 minute scene. Now, I'm not saying that they're wrong for that, because you got to think about it on their side too. It's like you got to pay for the camera dudes, the sound dudes, editor, locations can cost like upwards of $400 usually. So it's not, that's what it would be. If you just called me tomorrow and was like, hey, can you set up like a quick scene for me? I would have to charge you that. But so I was like, how can I fix this problem too? Same formula, get a bunch of people in. Like usually we like to try to get at least 10, maybe 8 to 10, 8 to 12 is a nice number. And then instead of charging them 11 to 1,500, I charge them 400. And instead of one scene, you get 2 scenes. And I could take that money, spread it around, pay for the 2 locations for Saturday and Sunday, and then pay for even extra props. If we're doing a doctor's office scene, I'll buy lab coats for everybody, and then I'm able to pay my film crew for the 2 days of work, and then pay my editor. Andrew does the editing usually for that too. And then so that started rolling. We've done about 15 or 20 of those, and then I added in the voiceover workshop where same thing. Come in, people, I charge them $200 to come in, and our buddy Nico, I don't know if you met Nikola Stojkovic.
I think so.
Yeah, he's like one of our good friends. He's a great director. Anytime I can have him as our director for a film that we're doing, obviously my first guy I call. He wrote out a bunch of like mock, like to sound like real commercials and stuff, like on the radio or advertisements. So then people come in, they pick like 3 of them out of like, there's probably like 25 on the list by now. So I'll have them pick 3, and then we'll record them and coach them through it a little bit. Like, hey, when you get to this part, maybe say it like this and add some inflection. So a little coaching in there. And yeah, same thing, just so they could start building their portfolio up.
Yeah, and you do a lot through your own stuff. You produce a lot of your own content as well. I was hoping maybe you can talk about some of the folks you've met along the way doing that, and kind of the networking and how important it is to. Because I think it's great. You're giving all these people paid opportunities to go and perform, and like it might not be easy for somebody who's done stage or comedy or stand up their whole lives, and then be viewed in an acting scene. So you're bridging a lot of gaps, and I was hoping again maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the importance of the networking, the people you've met along the way, and how you've gotten some of them into your own performances.
Well, I've become a budget master because especially if we're doing an independent film, I've been hired to do a lot of short films for people, and something else that got kind of popular was people were coming to me to like film a pilot episode for them for like a potential series, a TV series, because I guess what was happening is now instead of just pitching the scripts, like if you got the first 8 episodes written out, people were taking it a step further and like filming the whole pilot episode too. So then bundling that in with the package, like you might have the first 6, 8, 10 episodes written, and then you got the pilot episode there too. So obviously with independent scenes, you don't know what you're gonna get with the budget. I've been able to take like just say like 8,000 to make the clown shoes. The budget for that was like about 8,500, and then I was able to take all that and make it stretch and get the best quality of picture that we could get. And the reason why what helped too was we have a lot of the same friends too, with like guys like Andrew, guys like Nate Boniface, guys that work on Nate worked on Chicago Med a lot. I don't know if he's still doing it, but like they get paid a bunch of money to work on these shows and what they normally do. But for me, they would come out and like take something smaller, like maybe like 300 or 400 a day, compared to like what they're used to. And that's
Gig's a gig, baby.
yeah, and they understand that, and they knew what I was trying to do and try to make something nice and look good. And so I've been blessed to have a lot of great friends that are crew, like dudes that will come in and take a little less of a day rate to make something really good and really special for some people. So that's been a tremendous, and they know, like I always like, they know that I always say it and bring it up to them. And especially when we do the, premieres or showings and stuff at the theater, I'll say like, you guys are going to see a lot of great actors on the screen today, and they're awesome. But what you're not going to see is all the guys behind the scenes and gals that, we're working on this thing to put together. Then I'll, list them off, and because it's true that without them, we wouldn't be able to do most of the stuff that we set out to do. So appreciate those guys.
Yeah. And you got quite a crew behind you too, and you've met a lot of cool people along the way too from your journey, man.
Totally.
So you've done a lot of cool stuff. I've been following you. We've been pals for many years.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe you could talk about some of your past jobs that you've had. I remember one time I was a tour guide in Chicago. I was taking a break along the Chicago River, and I was just chilling there. And I remember this boat came rolling by, and I go, "That's Mike Ditka and Peyton Manning on the front of that boat." And I see like 10 feet behind him, there's you, and I'm like, "And there's my boy Matt Campbell." What is that? What? Am I dreaming right now?
Yeah, so that was a show, because I work for ESPN and NFL Films too, and that's a show that was produced by NFL Films called Peyton's Places, and it's Peyton Manning's show where he'll go around and, that was such a funny episode. I don't know if you've seen any of the clips that came out of it.
Oh, they were great.
We like baptized him in like a whole bucket of like gravy or like au jus, yeah. And then he comes up and he's got like the aviators on and the Bears hat, and he just goes, "Packers suck." So, and we got the dudes from SNL from that Chris Farley skit to come out and do that.
Wow.
So yeah, that was really fun.
And that was in the parking lot of Soldier Field, right?
No, we did that part on the field, like in the stadium. So that was cool. And then we did something up behind the pillars. But no, Peyton Manning, dude, is like a true professional. Like he's known in football for like being the quarterback that just over prepares, like him and Tom Brady kind of had that reputation that they over prepare for every game. And
masters of their craft.
He approached this the same way. That dude would come in and like he was one take, maybe two every time. Like he knew his like lines ready to go, boom, boom, boom. The fastest days I've ever worked because this dude's just flying. And yeah, he was just a great dude. So that was really fun to work on that one.
How about Mike Ditka? What's he like?
He was cool. He was like we only had him for that boat scene, so I didn't really get to talk to him that much. But yeah, he seemed like a chill dude, like fun ass guy,
Yeah, Chicago legend, man.
Yeah, 100%.
That's such a cool part of the scene that a lot of people don't really realize is that you get on these sets and you're brushing shoulders with some greatness too, which is such an experience in itself.
Yeah.
I was hoping maybe you could talk about some other people that you've maybe brushed shoulders with.
So yeah, and like you gotta know a certain way to act. You want to come up like asking for like selfies right away. Like
Sure.
I just treat them like coworkers and like we work together because that's what it is. Yeah, I mean when I was I think it was another NFL Films job. We did a commercial for Bose headphones or speaker. It was for their headphones, and we got Justin Fields when he was like a rookie to be in the commercial, and he like pulled up next to me in the parking lot in like there's like a Jeep Cherokee like rental car. So he didn't, didn't have the Lamborghini right away. Like he's like a really cool, like humble dude. And so like we got out of the car at the same time, and it was just like, I forget what we said, but I'm not, you want to fanboy these guys. You just gotta treat them like, they're just equals to you, and they're just like.
It's probably hard for, especially a guy like you. You're a footballer,
Yeah.
That's really got to be hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of like they want to, be treated like, kind of just like everybody else, I guess.
For sure.
That way, I'm not a fan in their eyes. I'm a coworker, So I just I've met a lot of cool people along the way for sure. And he was great to work with. The sad thing was like it was one of those commercials where they just had it in the back pocket, and I think it was the thing where the Bears were just so bad that they never played it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like so. It's like those back pocket ones. Like if they start doing good, then pop it on TV. Because I don't remember. Like maybe they did, but I don't remember. I don't think I ever saw it. I don't ever think they ever put it on there. Another fun one was we did a Jeep commercial for the Super Bowl back in like 2020, and it was for like the new Jeep like pickup trucks. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw this one. It was like we got Bill Murray.
It was with Bill Murray and the Groundhog, yeah.
Yeah, it's the way they did the whole Groundhog Day like movie like reenactment. It got all the old cast too, like Ned Ryerson, like hey, running down the street.
Ned Ryerson.
Yeah,
Needle-nose Ned.
Yeah. So Bill Murray was so hilarious, dude. Like everybody on set was just loving him. Like he's just talking to everybody, and it was so cool. And like he came up to me one day. He's like, Matt. He's like, come here. He's like, I need a huge solid from you, dude. And I was like, what's up? He's like, can you like go get me some like eye drops from like Walgreens or something? And I was like, yeah, like totally. Like okay, I'll be right back. So I go get him, and I come back, and he's like, oh, thanks, man. You're a lifesaver. He's like, and he gives me this like bag, and he's like, can you put this in my motorhome? Like, just put it like on the right side of the couch, like behind the table or whatever. I was like, yeah, for sure. Like, so I go whole way over there. Like, I don't think to like right when I get to the motorhome, I'm like, what the fuck is in this bag? And I look in, and it's just like 20 like Tito shooters from like the airplane.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, he's still getting after it, baby. Oh man, that was hilarious. But that shoot was fucked up because it was like one day we were all getting in the Sprinter to go into set, and this girl from the back of the Sprinter van just screams, and we're like, whoa, like what happened, And she's like, I think Kobe Bryant just died.
What?
Oh no.
Yeah, and we were like, what? Like, stop. Like, are you kidding me? And like, then everyone just like looking at their phones, like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
Dang.
And that was, at first they thought Rick Fox like was in there too. That was really weird how he got coupled into the story at first. He was another Lakers player that they played together with. But it's one of those things like 9/11 or when like you like remember where you were kind of thing, like when Kobe died.
Jack, you remember where you were with Kobe died?
Not on a helicopter, I'll tell you that.
Dude, it makes me like, I'm like nervous. I've been on a helicopter ride before, but like I feel like I don't want to ever do one again because that was scary, dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That's probably a weird time too, because you're in the Sprinter van, you're with Bill Murray, and you find out Kobe's like that seems so surreal in that moment. Right?
It totally changed the atmosphere for the rest of the shoot. Like luckily, I think we only had like 2 days left, but like everybody was kind of just like kind of shocked and moving slow and like what is going on,
It's weird when moments happen like that, especially in film. It's weird to like kind of capture that too. This may be a little off subject, but I was reading this thing about I was watching Grease the other day with some friends. We had like a watch party, and they were saying that that song "Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee," and she's like, Elvis, let me be, keep that pelvis off of me. Elvis had died that very same day. And Rizzo had to go and sing that about Elvis, and they were like, "This is so weird to like be singing this about him." And he passed on the movie too. He was going to be that beauty school dropout guy, but
great song by the way.
Great song, great movie altogether.
Right? What a great piece of cinema.
A young was. JT, man. I'm gonna bite me some of that off. Baby. God,
I'm more interested in Olivia Newton-John.
Oh well, I mean, of course, yeah. I mean, yeah, that goes without saying. But like, young John Travolta, though, baby. But no, and it's weird. You know, it's some weird somber moments like that. But no, it's weird how that kind of captures that.
Yeah.
But Bill Murray's one of those kind of guys who I think in the media, in the public's eye, he is one of those guys who, like you said, really just wants to be treated like a normal person. And he's one of those guys, I don't think stardom ever really like affected his ego and persona of sorts. You know, he's always been that kind of kid from Chicago mentality.
Yeah, he does so many great things for the city too. And you just see, you remember the commercials. He's like riding around with the groundhog. So we had to get an actual groundhog that came with its own fucking handler. Usually you see that more with like dogs and cats and shit like that. But it's like, I don't know who found it, if Michelle or somebody found the groundhog handlers, and they come in. I think there's two ladies that brought him, and what's it called? Like, yeah, they get paid pretty well too to be there. I remember
was the groundhog trained? Was he trained to like sit up on the steering wheel and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, exactly. And
there's a job out there for everyone, right?
Right.
Even groundhogs.
I want to be a groundhog.
Right.
It's the richest groundhog you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
But we also had like a prop one too for a few scenes where we just didn't want to put him in at risk for if driving the truck around or something. Like we used the prop for a couple of the scenes, I believe. But yeah, that's that same along the same lines. I don't know if you were working on when we did that music video with Megan. You
at Hell's Gate?
Was that Breaking Benjamin, or was that?
I believe that was Breaking Benjamin. Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to. So we also I did one with her. I worked on one with her where we did one for Tom DeLonge, and when he did that mashup with like Millennium,
yeah.
Paper Thin, sick song, by the way.
Great song.
It's always great when the music video that you're working on, the song's actually cool too.
Right.
Like I don't know what I would do if like the song sucked. You just got to keep playing it over and over again. You're like, all right, fuck, dude. But no, that song was pretty sick. We had a wolf out there. Like we got this wolf. It came with this handler. So, just like with dogs, they like basically said like everybody like don't distract like the dog or the wolf or whatever. Like you know, everyone wants to pet him, you know, and shit. But like he's got to focus. So that's with dogs too. You can't like everyone in the crew like we have to have a meeting and tell them like, hey guys, I know the dog's cute, like, but let's
it's a wolf. It can rip your hand off. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the one thing. It sucks is you can't play with the animals when we're filming because we don't want to get like too distracted and shit. So
they're trained professionals too. You know, just like like you said, Peyton Manning going up to say his lines. You can't distract that wolf when he's on the prowl, ready to hunt.
That's right.
Can't take that focus off.
No. And then I forget. Wait, the one we did was it was Breaking Benjamin or Skillet. Was it Breaking Benjamin?
I think it was Breaking Benjamin.
Okay.
For that one, yeah.
Yeah, I did another one over there too. It was like I didn't know who Skillet was at first when Megan called me. And
shout out Megan St. John. Love you.
Oh yeah, absolute amazing. Yeah, super smart, super successful producer. Megan St. John. She's awesome.
Absolutely crushing it.
Love working with her. When I didn't know who Skillet was when she called me, and like I think they're like the #1 Christian rock band right now. Cool. If you're not counting Creed.
Oh, of course.
Some people didn't know that Creed was like Christian rock.
Yeah. You know who else is kind of Christian rock, but nobody really knows? The Killers.
No shit.
If you ever, totally. I'll stand on this platform. Oh,
no way.
Listen to the Killers' music. All their lyrics talks about saints and sinners.
Yeah.
Washing your hands clean of things. And when you watch Brandon Flowers perform, he performs like an evangelical priest. I'm telling you, go back and take another look at it through that filter. It's interesting.
It kind of makes sense now. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Speaking of saints and sinners, my favorite restaurant in New Orleans on Bourbon Street was this place called Sammy's, and they had a nice little perch like probably as tall as this table, like overlooking onto Bourbon Street. So I'd love to sit out like on their patio and like watch everybody walking by and shit. And one year I go back and I'm like going to fucking Sammy's, and the sign says like Channing Tatum's Saints and Sinners.
Huh.
So I was like, huh. And it turned out that Channing Tatum bought my fucking favorite restaurant. And but the good thing was he didn't really change the menu at all. It was pretty much the same menu. So I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, that was fun. But I don't know if you guys ever been to New Orleans or not.
Haven't been. No, have you?
Not yet.
No, not
Dude,
yet.
it's a must. It's a must see. It's really fun. I think Mardi Gras is going on right now, so that's a good time to go. Jazz Fest is really fun. That's coming up in like a month or two. Cool. And they just had the Super Bowl there, and it looked fun as shit. Like,
Yeah.
my buddy went, and he was like, that was absolutely wild. My buddy Luke, he went, and he just saw a ton of celebrities rolling around, and was able to party with some of them too. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah, you guys should check it out for sure.
Yeah, especially after a Super Bowl too. I've always had this idea that if you host a championship game somewhere, whether it's a Super Bowl or the World Series or whatever, the city around it always really flourishes a lot. You know, like,
totally.
Like if you look at like Wrigleyville, for instance,
Yeah.
before and after the World Series victory, like it's just night and day how much has changed along that strip. It's so wild.
There's so many great new places that popped up there, like after all that whole deal, and started surrounding the stadium. Like St. Louis started doing that after they started winning a few, and started creating like the whole stadium surrounded by like new like bars and restaurants and stuff.
Right.
But
It's important for a city. You think the White Sox are ever going to get to that?
dude, I don't know. We were talking about this the other day. Like my buddy was like, who do you think's the next Chicago team to win a championship? Because we're pretty fucking down right now. Like nobody's doing shit. Bulls fucking suck. Like Bears suck. Like
Hawks aren't doing too hot.
Hawks are. It's hard to watch sometimes. Because especially when the Hawks were rocking though, that was the fucking best. Like the whole city was alive. Like, and think about it, like that to put that team together, those teams. Like think about the dudes that we had on there, like Kane, Sharp, Taves, Campbell, Seabrook, Keith, like
all stars.
On like fully stacked. Like like we're not getting this shit again. Like,
right.
So I don't know, who do you guys think it would be the next Chicago team to win one?
You know,
Chicago Fire.
Good answer.
Hey, I mean, not far off.
Chicago Sky.
I was good. That was my answer. Yeah. I was like,
they were the last ones to win.
Yeah, they just won like a year or two ago, right?
Yeah.
Well, we had Candace Parker.
Yeah.
Now she retired, so
I'd say probably them. You know, I really think it's gonna be interesting to watch the Bears in the next couple of years. Now that Mama Bear has passed away,
rest in peace,
R.I.P.
Sweet lady. Such a sweet lady.
It's so interesting to see what might happen to the Bears, because the city, when they were planning the reconstruction of Soldier Field, putting a dome on it, making an entertainment district around there, like that's really what you need, because it's such a pain in the ass to get out to museum campus. Like you got to walk there, or like the traffic is kind of crummy. So easy. If you have some way to like have an entertainment area there, train drop off right there, that's really what it needs. But what I didn't know, and which makes it interesting about Grandma Bear passing, is that because the Bears are privately owned, they're its own entity, but Soldier Field is owned by the Chicago Park District. Right. So all the proceeds that go to, you know, Pepsi, beer sales, food sales, that all goes to the Park District. So it's interesting the fact that
the Bears like rent the stadium from them, I think.
But like for them to not sell out and make it like whatever endorsement stadium, you know, it's the Zinn Stadium now, or whatever it may be. They don't do that quite yet, but if they were to do that, think about how monumental that would be to build a team then. So you could build that dynasty again with the Bears, hypothetically, in the next 10 years.
You could. We just need to get some O-linemen too, and then we might be okay. How did you feel about that whole thing when they were going to move up to like Arlington Heights?
Oh man, that kind of broke my heart a little bit. You know, it would be cool to see that stadium, and it would be the same kind of idea as like, you know, like the Patriots, how they're out of the major cities a bit.
Right.
But I don't know. It would have been really cool to see a lot of money get pumped into the team.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like, is it gonna be like? I don't know if you've ever been to Ravinia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of fun to get on the metro and like cruise up there and drink a tall boy on the way or something.
Right.
And like, so I was like, maybe they would develop a system like that, either like a shuttle bus service to take you up there, or I think no, actually the train,
Metro would have ran
goes
right
through.
there.
It does
Yeah.
go through. Yeah. So I was like, all right, that might not be so bad. Slam if you're on the train on the way or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they bought it, right? But they're not going to move the team there yet, but they might use it for something else.
Maybe a training facility. Because that ride to Champaign is kind of far. What is that, like 3-hour drive?
Yeah, 2.5, 3 hours. Yeah.
That's got to be pretty harsh, especially if these guys all live relatively close to the city, you know?
Yeah.
It's got to be a hard drive out there.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. You know, I to answer that question, I would hope the White Sox a little bit. I'm more of a Cubs fan, but you know, it's interesting to see, like, you know, if the White Sox were to move to that neighborhood 78, where it's like that undeveloped land that's like just south of Southwood.
Oh yeah, because they were talking about moving too, right?
Yeah, right up there by the river. But like they've already redone their stadium, but also they got a championship after they redid the stadium a couple of years after.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I don't know. I think the surrounding areas can definitely influence a lot of sports teams, and especially like if you get like a whole entertainment district out there, because like going to White Sox games kind of suck. Like you gotta park there. You can take the red line, but like
there's nothing around this. You
fucking
just
red
get in
line.
and get out. Like it's fun, like going in the stadium, like going to like the United Club or Kettle One Club, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. But like, yeah, you just leave right away. Like, imagine if that had like a Wrigleyville like atmosphere, where like it kind of had a bunch of bars around it and popping up. Like it'd be like a whole thing. Like people would come before the games, stay after the games. What we usually do in Wrigley is like go to Salt and Pepper and like have a few Jello shots and then like waltz into the game in like the third inning. So then the game's a little shorter, so you're not like there for like, you know, the whole time.
Sure.
So, and then after like go to Sluggers or
right,
you know, hit the cages.
right, yeah,
Get some
baby.
swings in.
I fucking love Sluggers. Shout out Sluggers.
Yeah, right.
I love the fact that Hardball with Keanu Reeves that was filmed there primarily. That bar scene where he takes that girl out. He's like, I got this real great place, and they show the sign Sluggers.
Yeah.
I'm like Keanu, he romantic guy.
Dude, I did a film with baby. What's his name in the movie? The kid that dies, like.
Oh, G Baby.
G Baby, yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah,
if anyone's
good.
wondering, he's doing well.
Good.
Yeah, he was dope. Yeah, I did this film with him. My buddy Raul Colon directed it. Shout out Raul. It's too bad me and Raul did a lot of good stuff together. He got a job in Florida working for what's it called, NBC Sports. So he started with NBC Golf out there, and then now he's with sports. And you know, selfishly, I wish he was still here, but he's doing real well down in Florida. So, you know, I'm trying to look for a new team to collab with and make some of these, because we've done a few where we volunteered our time and just to make something like a quick, fun, like short film, like Halloween one. We did one with Lily, the babysitter. I don't know if you've seen us promoting that one. So yeah, me and Raul like just didn't get we just didn't get paid anything, just to kind of make something fun for Halloween. And yeah, I need a new crew like that, because sometimes I just want to make something for fun, you know.
Right. You know, it is hard for a lot of people, because, you know, a lot of people obviously they want to get paid for certain things, but you know, I always tell folks who are trying to get into the entertainment scene, I'm like, go just participate in one. Go be an extra. Go hold a boom mic for a shot. You know, go get that experience. I was hoping maybe you can talk about maybe your experience when you first started getting into it. You know, doing some freebie stuff just to get your name out there and get your foot in the door.
I think it was when I was producing the Crime Stopper show, which we'll talk about in a little while. Somebody told me that the Chicago PD was like looking for extras or like something, featured background, something like that. So like I applied, and then you know, they booked me to come in and be this like featured extra, which you know, like it basically means like you're prominent in the scene, but you don't say it. You don't have any lines, basically. So I did that, and then I liked being there. So like I did a little more of it, and what I would do is when I would go there, I would watch the whole film crew, because you know, obviously they're at the high level, really high level of what they're doing over there. I would watch all the crew, what they're doing, what kind of cameras they're using, what kind of gear they're using. I'm just like watching everything, and then I would see like the main actors on the show, and it made me want to start doing like speaking parts. So then I was like, this is sick. Like I want to do this shit, you know. So then I started going to like acting class at like Second City and then Vagabond, and started trying to get into some independent films, which is it's not easy, because it's like you don't have any resume, and you gotta kind of give your like a little pitch for yourself, like, hey, listen, I know I'm not been anything, but like I really try really hard, you know, if you put me in this, give me a chance, you know. But you know, I was able to get in some of those. Some of those were shit shows. Some of those were good productions, you know, which also fueled me to want to do more producing, more independent films, so people don't have to experience that. Because I remember being in one where the guy was walking around telling everybody he's going to be on Hulu, and I was like, they're not even using any lights. And I'm like, does Hulu know about this? Or like, you know, like, don't tell, like, and I've seen that before too, like the director or somebody will go around and be like, yeah, it's going to be on Netflix, and there's no deal in place. Netflix doesn't know about this, you know. And it's just like, I don't understand why people would do that, because you're just fucking setting yourself up, because you're going to have 20, 25 people, depending on how many people working on this, asking you like, what's going on with it? I thought you said this is going to be on fucking Hulu, dude. Like, all you have to fucking say is, hey guys, let's do it. Let's all do our best and do a great job on this thing. And maybe, you know, maybe somebody can get it picked up from somewhere on a network.
Right.
That's all you have to say. And people are like, all right, yeah, cool, let's go. What the fuck are you doing running around telling everybody it's going to be on Hulu?
Yeah.
And you don't, and it's not.
Right.
And everyone's going to be like, what the fuck, dude? You said it was going to be on there. So I always thought that way. I've seen them more than once. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, you know how to find the red flags through that, though. You know what I mean? Because I've been on plenty of sets too where it's a little unprofessional, and you're like, this is kind of weird. The film flopped, you know, never saw the light of day. But that in itself is a learning experience too, to know
what to look out for, questions to ask,
etiquette on set, things to say, things not to say.
Yeah.
You know, being present. You know, it's a total. That alone is great wisdom and knowledge to gain. You know, it might have been a free experience to, you know, get yourself out there.
Right.
But like you said, watching, learning, actively participating in it, it's so beneficial to especially somebody just trying to get the resume off the ground.
No, totally. You know, and if let's just say like you do get into one like that, and it sometimes what would happen is like they never finish the fucking edit. So like that's what motivated me as a producer to try to do more independent films and make sure that we're gonna do a good job and make sure this shit gets done.
Amen to that, brother.
You know, and so it's and if it did happen like that, I would try to look at it optimistically, like, all right, at least that was good practice. Practice me being on set, doing my lines, and doing a good job. So I'm like, all right, fine, you know, whatever. You didn't give me the footage back, cool. But then, you know, I was able to find, you know, the way I came up with the demo scene idea was because I needed more footage, because that first one I did in the independent film, they never gave it back to me. So I asked Andrew, and when we were working on Case Files together, him and I forget who else was in the film crew at the time, I was like, dude, after work, like, can we bring all this film gear with us? And I wrote this scene out, like a detective scene. And I was like, I'll buy you guys like beer and pizza and shit. Like, can you just come film this scene for me? And he's like, yeah, for sure, dude. So that I made like 1 or 2 demos for myself that way. So then now I had something going on my reel. Like I had those 2 scenes and then something else from an independent film. And then I was like, oh, I should do this for other people too now. You know, so that's kind of where that idea came from for the demo scene workshop. And you know, but it's just a constant. And now I was able to fortunately build up my reel, get good headshots, and get an agent. Now I have 2 agents, and I booked 2 SAG roles already.
Oh yeah, brother.
Yeah, so one more, I gotta go. I gotta join. One more, I gotta join SAG, which is exciting. Right now, they tell you, like, if you're SAG eligible, like, don't join yet because you want to keep yourself open in case something is non-union that comes around, that you could still do it and build from there. So that's where I'm at, right on the edge right now with that. And but it's just like a long, like, that's what I was gonna like say, like, tell people, like, this dude was at the bar the other day. He was asking me about, because he was like, yeah, I did some extra work and I want to start doing this. I'm like, it's fun, but just know it's a long road ahead, dude, and it's gonna be a little, you know, a little turbulent.
You got to put in the work, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can't just can't expect to fly just standing still. You know, you got to start running.
Yeah, dude. So this dude's sitting next to me, and he's like, hey, listen, like, I heard, like, because the one guy was like, oh, I saw you on Chicago PD, and I was like, yeah, that was me. And then the guy overheard it, and he's like, hey, listen, man, he's like, I'm not gonna give you the whole elevator pitch and shit. I was like, okay. He's like, but then he proceeded to give me the fucking full elevator pitch. I was like, I thought you said you weren't. And I was like, just email me the thing, dude. I'm like, come on. Full elevator pitch. I'm like, you said you weren't gonna do this.
But, you know, in all fairness, though, it is nice that that's a part of being an extra when you go to these things, just networking with people, finding out what other performers are doing. Yeah. It was funny. I was going to a lot of, like, Chicago Med and Fire extra casting for, like, right after the pandemic hit. Yeah. And it was so funny to see, like, it was funny, not really funny, but it was ironic seeing, like, it was, you know, post-COVID, fresh post-COVID. Right. And you saw, like, all of the Chicago entertainment scene going into, like, tents to, like, get craft services and food. And it looked like a homeless shelter of people, like, going in and getting food. And I was like, man, this is what I signed up for. And we're doing it right now, man. It's but, you know, it is a good networking place to find people like yourself. Yeah. And you never know, just introducing yourself, it might lead to a really great friendship and the next big project to work on, right?
Yeah, no, like you said, you get a lot of great food. Mario's Catering, shout out. You know, and then you get paid decent, like, give you like $150. I don't know what they're making these days, but I think I would get like $150 a day to be out there.
You're chilling most of the day. Yeah,
and what I would do is, like, I would tell people about my workshops. Mm-hmm. You know, it's perfect. I'll be in there and I'm not like full on sales pressing you, but, like, I would be like, yeah, this is what we're doing. It's pretty cool. Like, you know, and I wouldn't be like, you should sign up. They would be like, maybe I should do that, you know? Right. So I wouldn't, like, hard press them, but I would just throw it out there, like, what we're doing.
Because you can't really build up a reel being an extra.
Right. You got to show your chops. You can't put that on there. So I wasn't the only one that was trying to do speaking parts before. Like, obviously, you know, some people are content with being, you know, background. Like, they're they're like not interested in one day maybe going to acting class and doing speaking parts. Like, some are just, like, it's funny, like, there's a lot of people that are just, like, either retired, like moms or dads that, you know, they're a little older, and there's like their whole community of people, like, they just come through, like, every day, hang out,
and they all know each other too. Like, yeah.
Hey, like, I saw you at such and such. And then those posts on, like, Instagram, like, circle their head, like, in the background, like, they just fucking love it, and we need these people. It's beautiful. But yeah, it was, like I said, I would go be on there, watching the crew, learning from them, getting motivated, and then also meeting people, and sign up a lot of people that way for meeting them on the set of PD. Yeah. And great food. No.
Very, very good food.
Yeah.
You're very opportunistic, man. It's really cool. I didn't know that about the case files and how that kind of was your segue to doing the demos. You know, you saw an opportunity, you saw all this equipment, you saw your boys ready to roll and make this happen. Yeah. You went and did it. So kudos to you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was hoping maybe you could talk a little bit about Case Files, because that was such a cool show in itself. And maybe tell us what was Case Files and what was your role on it.
Well, that's where I met A.K. Smith.
Shout out Andrew. What up?
What up, baby? It was like I just got accepted to law school, and that's what I wanted to do. I just want to be a lawyer. And at the same time, my uncle calls me, and he's like, no, I was working for him as a clerk at the time, and I was like, hey, I got accepted. And then he's like, well, cool. He's like, I was gonna tell you, like, I bought this TV show, the Crime Stopper show, Case Files, Chicago. And I was like, okay, go on. And he's like, why don't you, he's like, he's like, you didn't get accepted to your dad's law school? And I was like, no, I met with them. He went to Chicago Kent, and I was like, I met with them. They like, we need you to get your score up like 2 points. I'm like, dude, my dad went here. Come on, like, let's, what the fuck? Like, you kidding me? When is my turn?
It's generational.
Yeah, like, this is my turn now, like, to get, get in somewhere because of my family or whatever. But no, like, they were like, no, we need you to get that all set up, just 2 points, please. And I was just like, okay, because they were a pretty good school. So my uncle's thing was basically like, why don't you work with me for another year, take the LSAT again, reapply, next quarter, next season, and then, then you run this fucking show for me. Like, he's like, I'll be executive producer, you be the producer, and run the day-to-day. And then he hired Andrew, and then I forget who was the rest of our crew, that first one. But so that's basically what the show was. It's a true crime show about real murders, like, in Chicago. And we ended up, so every week we would have a new case. And the crazy thing is, like, the cases were all innocent people. Like, all the victims that we profiled on our show were all innocent people, and that's pretty scary. Like, so basically, we wouldn't do a episode involving a case where, like, one gang member, like, shoots another gang member, because there's enough cases of just innocent people that are just either, like, sitting at the bus stop and get hit with a stray bullet, or a lot of times what happened too was, like, there's, like, mistaken identity, either by the way they looked or the car that they were in. Like, if these dudes are, like, looking for a fucking dude in, like, a red Charger, any red Charger they see, they're just lighting it up. Yeah. And, like, we had like at least 4 cases like that where they were just wrong car. Like, these dudes are just shooting up cars. Like, they just thought there was the guy, like, that they're looking for,
Jeez.
So that one of those was really sad because, like, this dude just got back from the army. He had his, like, baby in the back seat. And these dudes just come up and, like, sprayed up his whole vehicle, and they both died.
Wow. And
we found out it was, like, the wrong car. They were just looking for an op, the ops. Guy had the same car, and they just shot the wrong dude. Or there's been so many drive-by shootings where, like, a bullet, like, goes through the window and, like, hits, like, a kid, like, sleeping on the couch. Or one really sad one was this girl, super smart, like, straight A student, Alexandria Burgos. She was leaving for college the next day, and she called her brother. She's like, hey, I'm going to college, Poppy, I want to come hang out with you before I go. And he's like, okay, yeah, cool, come pick me up. And so she goes to the friend's house where he's at and, like, picks him up, but she's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, is it okay if I come up and, like, use the friend's bathroom? Like, yeah, come on in. And so while she comes in and goes, she's in the bathroom, some dude from, like, a rival gang, like, runs up on the back porch and just starts, like, blasting shots through the back window.
Jeez.
And one of the bullets went through the bathroom door and hit her, and she's the only one that got hit. Wow. And she was like, because I guess her brother was kind of hanging out with some, questionable dudes that I think they're probably gang, like, active in a gang. Mm-hmm. But just shit like that. So I was really fucking determined to solve this gun violence problem in Chicago, and I literally thought I could do it. I thought I could be the one. And
have you been to the south side of Chicago yet?
Oh, we would be there every day, and that's the wild thing is, like, we would be in Englewood and Austin neighborhood on the west side, like, and nobody would, like, fuck with me. They were actually, like, if I walk in a gas station and, like, 79th and, like, Cottage Grove, like, dudes would come up and be like, what up, GQ, baby? What you doing around here, man? So I got, like, I remember I went to the Harold's Chicken in Englewood, and, like, the owner comes out, he's like, hey, what's going on, like, playa? Like, he's like, I'm Harold. I'm like, you're the Harold? He's like, oh, no. He's like, nah, I'm not the Harold. But he's like, my name's Harold, too. That's why I bought this location. I just figured. And I was like, okay, sick, dude, So I always got, like, a warm welcome when I would be in these neighborhoods. So that's why it kind of pisses me off if, like, I'll be downtown at a party and someone's like, oh, no, don't go to the south side. You're going to get shot. It's like, no, you're not. Like they're, yeah, you might catch a stray, but like no one's just shooting you because you don't look like you're from there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. It's just the bad apples in the bunch.
Yeah, a lot of the times when people get shot in the South Side, they like did something to fuck with the other like gang or whatever. It's usually like
precisely.
and like what you were saying, it's like they miscalculated who the person was. They're like, oh, this is a rival gang member, but it's really not them.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. It's fucking wild, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like an everyday thing too. Like just because, I mean, I used to report it a lot, but when I was living in the South Side, after like 6:30 ish, you'd hear like a gunshot every like hour or so, and you'd hear like the siren just, and that's how you know like people got shot and shit. But it was like hourly, like freaking hourly, like 8 till 7 in the morning till the kids started to come out, and then again, I used to live right next to a crack house, or I don't know what the fuck they sold, but every morning like 4, 5, 6 in the morning, you'd have like a line of people just waiting just to get their drugs.
Wow.
The fucking drug dealer guy would come in less than like, I don't know, a minute and a half, 20 people would just be scattered, just like leaving. You know, they got their drugs and they're like, I'm leaving now. But I would like look out my window and I'd see like a line. A minute later, everybody just runs out. It's fucking.
Oh, dude, I've seen that
wild
shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and you know, to go off of what you were saying about like, you know, it's because I'm from the South Side, you know,
Right.
I might be from the Irish ghetto, but like I'm still from the South Side.
Yeah.
You know, and it is a really crummy stigma that people have around the South Side, and you know, one of the things that really irks me is that it's such a systematic problem. You know, like it's not. I'm not going to say it's not necessarily these kids' faults, but it's the system's fault that these kids are in these situations. Like they don't have the resources to go out and have a 9-to-5 job as a kid, like we used to have when we were teens. You know, so like the system is failing the kids. They're taking away resources from the Chicago park districts, and these kids are going out into the streets. And it's like I don't want to say it, but crime pays. You know, like it's so hard to tell a young kid from the hood that like, hey, you should stay in school, you should go to college, you're going to make really good money, because that's not necessarily the case. When he sees, you know, these guys down the street with the big car and the flashy jewelry, and it's such an appeal, and it's so hard to tell that kid that this is the better course when this immediate action is going to get you paid more than a 9-to-5 will.
Right, and that's what we were trying to figure out too. Is like how we can't get to the kids before their older brother gets to them. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's not like the mafia. In the mafia, the Italian dudes, like they wouldn't let their sons be in the mafia. You know, but that doesn't. But in the street gangs, no, like they're getting them 12, 15 years old.
You're born into them. Like if your family is a gang member and you're born into it, you don't have a choice.
Literally,
there's no choice.
Some kids are drug mules for their parents in certain parts of the city. It's really fucked up.
And I was talking to one parent, and she was saying, she's like, I don't know what to do, Matt. Like, you know, like my son, there's a few gang members that live on our block, and like, they're like, he'll be coming home from school, and then they will fuck with them, and like, they're like, yeah, we're gonna keep fucking with you until like you join the gang, or we'll just end up killing you. Jeez. Like, so she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I can't afford to move right now. And like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And like, cause now I guess there's so many like smaller gangs in Chicago, like based off of just blocks. Like it's no longer, it's all Bloods and Crips or Vice Lords or GDs. There are even like Saints, Disciples and shit. But like, there's a lot of just like block gangs now. And it's getting hard for the police to like keep track of everything. And this one detective showed me a map of the city and like where each gang like is what an area, and I was like, whoa, I didn't realize. Like even like if you look at it even by like Milwaukee and Ashland and you know, kind of by that Popeyes over there, just like that's fully, there's like, you wouldn't even know that they were there.
Yeah. But
apparently they are there. And so there was a lot of shit that like I opened my eyes to when we were working on that show, and like I said, I really thought we were working with other activist groups, like, and trying to figure out what can we do to like fight this problem, you know, because it's like the school system, like computer labs aren't working, like everything that they were doing before to try to like help with this. Nothing, like protests, nothing's working. And it was sad because like we were working with this guy, Pastor Brooks, down at New Beginnings Church in Englewood, and he's got a great program going on, trying to help keep kids off the street. And he's raised a ton of money and got all these nice basketball courts for the kids, and like he'll have like food there every day. Like, and we showed up one day with the whole Case Files team, with like me, Andrew, like Lisette, my uncle, and we brought them like a bunch of basketballs and like footballs, and I was like throwing the football around with the kids. Even girls were like playing with us, and it was a great partnership that we had with him. But the sad thing is like these two dudes came up to me. They're probably like 15, and they're like, "Yeah, guess what, dude?" They're like, "We come here, we play basketball, we eat all the fucking pizza, and then we go right back to the gang, bitch." And I was like,
It's true though.
"Nice, dude, nice. Like, fuck you." Like, they knew. I was like, "You're a fucking asshole." Like that's fucked up, dude.
And that's a part of the problem, though, is that it's that mentality, you know.
Yeah.
You know, what do you think would be the solution to gun violence in the city?
I think technology. Like once the technology comes along, where I'm almost like picturing like some kind of satellite grid that it kind of knows where every body is at. Like, and it's, you know, you only can look at it though after something happens, and you like see who was there, like, you know what I'm saying, like something
like CCTV,
even
deal.
like more than that, you know, because that's not. Oh, that helps a lot in the UK, but yeah, one day I think technology will put an end to it somehow.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and you know, I've done some research on it, because it's good to be open and try to understand both sides of the coin, because you know, like the police don't have a good relationship with the community these days, and it's really sad, because you know, even like with New York and the stop and frisk policies, like people don't want to be harassed in the streets. They don't want to be. They want hands-off policing a lot of times.
Right.
And so many people will say that, like, that probably is the solution. You get all these cop cameras around the city, taking video, taking photos. I mean, for me, for instance, them Kia boys got me, dog.
You got fucking
the
jacked?
Kia boys, they took my fully paid off 2016 Kia Soul. I worked really fucking hard for that car too, dog. I was driving Uber. I was doing all sorts of shit. But yeah, I was sleeping maybe 40 feet away from my car. Didn't even hear it. They attacked and robbed a woman down the block from me, stole my car, got away. Maybe like a week later, I got 4 letters in the mail from red light camera tickets, speeding camera tickets, and like other surveillance.
Could you like see them in the car?
But now that's the thing is I asked them, I called the Chicago police. I'm like, hey, here's my case number. You know, this was stolen from my car. I'm like, I have 4 different things here. Can you guys enhance these photos? And they go, we don't have the capability to do that. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So you can take all these photos of my license plate and send me the bill for it, but you can't. There's zero surveillance of any of this. Right. And that's what people want, though, is that offhands policing, because like Ring cameras are such a great thing now.
Yeah.
Seeing and they're in the city, surveillance is hidden too. It's not like those big blocks that you see with the blue flashing light, though. You'll see those
shot spotters.
Yeah, shot spotters.
Yeah. And
that's the other thing. Brandon Johnson's taking off shot spotters now too.
That guy's a fucking dumbass. Dude.
He's a clown. And it's so interesting to even hear like the victims' families. Like they're like, I remember he took off the shot spotter, and like that day that he did, this young woman was shot and killed. They didn't find her body for like 18 hours after. And they're like, yo, if you still had shot spotter on, you would have known this. You would have been able to find this killer. And that's the issue, because it's repeat offenders. It's all these guys doing it together, doing it frequently. And, you know, it's really sad, because they're doing it and they're not getting any repercussions. Even if you got caught stealing a Kia Soul, you know, Kim Fox is just going to slap your wrist, and this kid's out on the street the very next day. No repercussions or anything.
Isn't that like they don't have to like pay bond anymore or something like that? Or like where they can pay bond, but like you don't have to be locked up anymore. You can just they let you free until you pay.
I
your
think
bond
they
or
just
something
make it
that.
like a misdemeanor. They don't even make it like a felony offense. But like they say a car is equal to a gun because you need a license for it. You need to be able to track it. It's got a code written on it. But like if you were to steal a gun and commit a crime, you'd be fucked. But if you stole a car and committed a crime and you potentially killed someone, got away with it, they wipe their hands clean of it. It's a misdemeanor at this point.
Damn, that's bullshit. Bro.
Yeah. Because
What do you mean you were sleeping 40 feet from your car? Were you camping or like?
no. Well, that night I had parked my car in front of my apartment.
Oh, okay. So
and I was sleeping in the front room that night. I got a day bed. In the
Okay,
front room.
that's what you meant.
But dude, I didn't hear them. My alarm didn't go off or anything, and
Yeah.
it's fucked because now the city of Chicago and other cities are suing Kia and Hyundai because they've had to ramp up their forces for it.
Yeah.
But
So wait, what happened though? Did you get your car back? Or what did it was paid off? So like
it was completely paid off. Luckily, they didn't wreck it. I found my car. Well, the police called me like 3 days later, and when I reported it missing, they were like, if it makes you feel any better, there have been over 450 stolen cars today alone. In the single day that you got your car stolen,
That is making
13,000 in a year. I think it's like what?
how do you not track? How do you not stop that? And
It's crazy.
So they found my car, and what he told me too, he's like, they usually just steal your car. It's a scapegoat. They commit crimes in it. You take the tag on it. And then when they run out of gas, they just ditch it because they're not going to go to a gas station where there's surveillance,
Right.
use card or cash and go pay for gas. They found my car out in the. I'm not going to even say the neighborhood because I don't even want to say. I don't. The neighbors don't deserve to have that
Right.
negative light on them. But yeah, they found it on the west side of Chicago. It was still running. And it was, I'm not even going to say how to steal it because it's so stupid how to steal it and it's so easy. But it's a weird thing now because there's all these class action lawsuits because cities are suing Kia and Hyundai. But it's like, what about the people who paid off their car? Where's their compensation? Where's their, I'm not the only person.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Like what the fuck?
So it's, and it's a weird thing because even like with TikTok and social media groups, I think they're about to start getting some backlash from it because they were promoting it on their platforms instead of, taking this off and where there's literal videos showing how to do it and glorifying people doing it.
Right.
They never took it off. So they were essentially teaching people how to do it willy-nilly.
True. That's an interesting aspect to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really an unfortunate event. But again, like you can get so mad at the kids who stole it, or you can get mad at the system who failed the kids, and that's kind of where I'm at. When I was a teen, I wasn't doing shit like this. I was working at a restaurant. I was working. I was mowing lawns. I was painting fences and shit. But these kids don't have that opportunity these days, and that's I think is the most unfortunate part about the problem in a whole.
Yeah.
It also has to do with like the way they were raised, like their parents and stuff. Because I was also raised like around like gang members, and gang members try to like recruit me all the time, and like I was fucking doing dumb shit. But like, I guess my parents raised me right, so I never like was interested in actually like joining a gang, or if like my friends were gonna go like break into a house or something, I'd be like, sorry guys, I gotta go to sleep or something.
Right, because your parents would check in on you if you didn't show up at a certain
they
time.
wouldn't.
Well, if you were gone for a while, they'd be like, "Where the fuck are you?"
They would whoop my ass though.
And that's what some kids need these
Back in the
days.
good old days.
Back when you can hit your kids.
It is. Yeah, it is a lot of parenting. I think too. I think that was kind of like one of my conclusions was what one of the problems was, and now again, there's always going to be some parents that are just really good parents and they tried their best, but just Timmy is just a piece of shit and he's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants, no matter how nice his parents are and how hard they try.
Right, not all parents suck.
Right. So
And it's
I've
even hard
seen
for the
that.
parents too, because a lot of these parents got to work multiple jobs just to keep the family afloat. So they're not around to take care of the kids all the time, and that's part of the
Right.
issue too. The
Right.
systems failed them as well.
So I was really kind of bummed when with the show we did help the police solve 8 murders, from
Nice.
from the show, and then we got nominated for an Emmy in 2017. Didn't win. I would love to have one of those fucking gold trophies, but it was nice to be there because it was down like the nominations only invite 4, so we were top 4 basically. I don't know what if we got second, third, or fourth because they only tell you the winner, but that would have been nice to have that hardware. But we did some good things with the show, and I was kind of bummed when it ended. But I think it also kind of messed me up a lot in the head just because of all the shit that I saw and the people. It's like hard, man. Like we would have every week like a new family and friends of a victim like in our studio, you know, filming them for the episode, and like mom's like crying, and it's so fucking sad, dude.
Yeah.
And
Probably opening up a wound that they thought was healed, right?
Yeah,
That's
so it's
hard.
hard. We got to ask him all the hard questions again, and you know, Lisette Guillen, she was our associate producer. She did such a great job at that too, because we would usually have her interview them when we would do the interviews, and it's just tough. All the shit that we saw, and it was definitely taking a toll on me mentally because I just kind of felt like, man, like why do I deserve anything if like these kids are getting killed like this and didn't get to have a full life, and just super sad. And I guess it was a blessing in disguise that the show ended, because then I could kind of take a step back away from all that, because it was just too much. It was just too much overload of just every day. That was what I'm thinking about or doing. And then I kind of started my own production company right after that, and started doing more stuff, and getting into all those independent films that we were doing. And but I did meet somebody recently that he has some program that he's doing, and I told him like maybe I'll get back involved a little bit and try to see what you guys are doing down there. And because it's still an important issue to me that I would one day love to get solved, because you know, these detectives too, man, they're just overloaded with so many cases, and they don't have a high clearance rate, because most of the time none of the witnesses want to talk to them. And they got moms. I'll be with these cops, and like moms are calling like, "Do you solve my fucking son's case yet, detective? What the fuck are you doing?" Like yelling at him, like literally. And he's like, "Ma'am, I'm trying to solve your son's case, but one of the problems is your other son was there and saw who shot your son, and he won't tell us." And we respected him. We said, "Okay, if you're scared and you want to tell us, like that's fine." And one day we were filming with the detective in the studio, and like all of a sudden the brother comes in that knew who shot his brother. He comes in and like flips a table. He's like, "What the fuck, detective?" He's like, "Are you gonna solve my brother's case or not?" And we're like, whoa, dude, like chill the fuck out. Like, first of
Like
all,
while you had the whole camera set up and all that?
yeah,
Were you
and
rolling?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, I'm wondering if we still have the footage somewhere on the hard drives, but
Damn.
I was like, hold on, dude. I was like, you know who shot your brother, and detective, I forget if it was Cavazos or, I'm like, he respected you. Like, he said, okay, if you're nervous and about retaliation, or they're gonna come after you, okay, we're not gonna make you do anything, and they respect you. So don't come in here fucking flipping tables and yelling at him. And that's the last day we did the family and detective interviews on the same day. We're like, yeah, what the fuck was that, dude? So it sucks because like it's like I love playing a detective in a film or on TV, or you think that it looks so cool to be a detective, but dude, these guys are fucking stressed, dude. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's not the whole glamour that it looks like on TV and shit. You know, it's just every day we're out there getting more cases. Nobody's helping them. Riding around, fuck you, like, you know, people are treating them like shit. They're not happy. It's not a good existence, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to really give a shit about your community when the community might not give a shit about you sometimes. It's really, really tough. And like you said, it's, you know, whether you're filming or directing or an officer going after certain cases, you're seeing some of the most gruesome shit day in and day out. Like, you really got to make sure your mental health is strong too at that point, because there's so many police officers who suffer from mental illness now because have been exposed to so many just nasty things. And like you said, it's hard. You try solving one case, you think you're close, you got a whole new stack of paperwork on your desk for the next one. And it's where are you ever gonna be able to get your head above water at that point?
Seriously,
it's a constant roll.
I had a friend that was like a police dispatcher, and pretty much what you were just saying is that their mentality afterwards is a little like messed up, because she would get calls every fucking minute about like some like the son would like try to kill like his mom or whatever, and like his mom's like his mom's like calling the cops, my son has an axe and like he's trying to kill me, blah blah blah.
Holy shit.
And like she would come, like we were roommates and stuff, and like she would get home and stuff, and she would just like lay on the couch and not say a word, just like roll her joint and shit, and be like, and you could tell her face was like, whoa, I just heard like the most fucked up shit in the world. And
right.
Smoke a little bit and fucking. But like my question to you, how do you mentally prepare to hear those kinds of stories? Like, you're about to interview someone and you're about to hear like the most fucked up shit. Like, do you like disassociate? Do you like what goes on in your like?
No, like I would fully get too emotionally invested like in it, and like I almost got like too close to the families sometimes, and like they would text me like, please help, is there anything? I'm like, the best we can do is like put the episode on TV. Like, there's nothing really else I can do besides that. And I probably should have disassociated a little more than I did, so I wouldn't get it as messed up from it. And I remember the first episode I ever produced, Detective Sandoval, Roger, greatest dude. He comes with the folder of like crime scene photos. He's like, no, he's like, Matt, listen, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, you have a choice. This is the only time you can make this choice, because there's no going back if And I was like, what? He's like, I have pictures in here. Like, remember, this is your first episode. I understand. So like, he's like, you could either look at it or not. But once you do it, you can't unsee what you've seen. And I was just like, yeah, all right, let me look at it, And first picture he opens is like, it's like this woman laying in a pool of blood, like on her kitchen floor. I guess her like boyfriend came back from the military and like killed her. Shit. And so I'm just like, fuck, dude. From then on, I would look at all of them, and then you just kind of have these images in your head. So yeah, it was messed up. Like, it sucks that our city has such a problem with all this stuff, I hope one day that we could, solve that.
Now, how good did it feel when you busted 8 of those guys?
Oh, it was great. Like, cause we would do it in all sorts of ways. Like, maybe like one time, like a mom messaged us on Facebook with the tip. Like one time, we ran an episode where these 2 guys were on East End Avenue and like shot this dude that was just picking his girlfriend up to go on a trip to like Wisconsin Dells or something. Like, really good, solid like dude. And I guess the 2 guys that shot him like were arrested on a separate offense, so they were in jail or whatever. And like one of the dude's girlfriend calls him in jail, and she's like, yeah, remember when you guys like shot those 2 people on like East End Avenue? And she's like, you run the Crime Stoppers show. And he's like, shut the fuck up. And I guess she didn't know that they like record like the jail calls. So that's how we solved one of them, because fucking Big Mouth.
Those lip sync ships.
Yeah. So then we got that information, and then because we had a surveillance image of these 2 dudes like running away. So then we were able to take their pictures of their, like, I think it was their mug shots, and we were able to compare them to like the image that we had, and it was fucking them. Wow. And we were like, holy shit. The detective's like, like, what the fuck is going on?
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
That was one. Yeah. It felt great though, because I wouldn't know what I would do if like we didn't solve anything. Like, that would suck.
And the episodes are still out there too, so who's to say they can't bust people later on?
Well, that's why I like when we stopped airing the show on Channel 8. I took all the episodes and I dumped them on our YouTube channel, which we used to use before for just kind of like more promotional shit, or like I think we would put the trailers of each episode. I would have the guys like edit a little preview for each episode and I would throw it on there. But then when we were done with it, I put all the episodes on the YouTube channel, and then I turned around and like it blew up.
Wow.
Like, so now I think we have now like 16,000 subscribers, I think. And it's monetized. So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do if there's a way that we can maybe start making more episodes, but like a shortened version, maybe just with the detective instead of interviewing all the friends and family and shit. Mm-hmm. I'm considering it. Trying to see what the logistics of it are, just to do just like a quick kind of, instead of a 22-minute episode, like maybe like a 7-ish minute, but we'll see. We talked about it a little bit with the whole team.
Everyone's got a shorter attention span these days, right?
Yeah,
Shorten
and
down, get to the actual facts.
Yeah, and the creator of the show, guy by the name of Sean Reck, he's a great dude. He created all the Crime Stoppers shows in all the cities, because there's like a Miami one, LA, Cleveland, and so he thought it was very important to have like the friends and family in the episodes, like to show that emotional appeal.
Sure.
But from an entertainment standpoint, it wasn't the best thing, because it would get like so sad, like going on, and like you kind of get lost in that part. And so I'm thinking like maybe we just, if we do it again, we don't do the friends and family. Maybe if like the best friend was like there and saw it happen, like maybe we'll fucking put him in there. Mm-hmm. But like but for the most part, probably just the detective, and then I'll do the reenactment scene with like actors. And we'll see. I don't know.
That's a hard thing, because the empathy is such a major part of it that I think is important, because if you show the mother crying over her kid, like somebody who might be considering committing crimes might look at that and say, shit, that looks terrible. I would never want my family to go through something like that. But
yeah, seriously,
empathy is a big thing.
Yeah.
But
how did you guys find the crimes or whatever to showcase on your TV show? Like, do you guys have like police connections, or
so we start the first detective we worked with, Roger Sandoval, we did a first case with him, and then we did a number of cases with him, like, and then we would have him like connect us with some of his other detectives that he works with, and like we would kind of just string our way through it. And then we would also have like people would like message us and submit cases to get reviewed. So we would take the case, we would find out who the detective is, we'd call them and make sure that A, they weren't in a gang, and like B, if the detective was interested in like coming on the show. Because there were a few times where the parents like swore like, no, he wasn't in a gang, he was an angel, like, like, and then the detective's like, no, dude, he's in a fucking gang, like, for sure, like, because they have his whole record with all the tattoos that he has. He's like, yeah, this tattoo means he's like a Satan disciple, so we're like, yeah, sorry, like the detective said your son is in a gang, and the lie detective determined that was a lie. So I don't know, some kids, I don't know if like, because some kids are really good at fooling their parents, like they think they're just like this little angel, whatever. And I don't know if they really just believed him, or like they just were just saying that, like, so we would have to like vet it out and make sure, and then kind of go from there. So that's kind of how we would get the different cases.
Dang. That's cool. Well, you made a big difference in it, man. Busting 8 people and 8+, because don't forget, people might show up later and watch the episodes.
Yeah,
but, it's an important thing, man. Good
Thanks.
for you.
I appreciate.
You got any other projects on the horizon?
So I just finished filming this new series called The Puppet, and it's kind of about this like it's kind of like a little clown doll that, and I played a detective in this one, but it centers around this group of college friends that like each, basically, like some of them started, like, if you see this thing, then like you kind of you'll end up in this other dimension of this place called like the nowhere. And so it kind of has like a little Stranger Things vibes to it. Super amazing script. Shatera McCrae did a wonderful job writing it, and she was also one of the producers too. When I remember we were at the table reading, we're like every episode that we finished reading, everyone just like again like wow, like looking at her like damn, like you fucking killed it. So basically, yeah, every time these kids start getting picked off, because if you see this thing, you'll end up in this other dimension basically. And my character is a detective where his sister disappears, so he thinks that he's getting kind of close to it. He thinks that this is what's going on, and like my partner in the show, she's like, you got to drop this, like Chief told you not to, you know. So I'm like, okay, let's just, you know, because she doesn't believe it, but I'm like hot on the trail of this thing, you know. So that just came out a couple weeks ago. I got a clip for it that I sent you guys. We could pull it up probably in the post edit, or unless you have it now.
I can pull it up in a second.
Check
Okay.
That's cool. Where can you watch it?
So they first put it on their YouTube channel, and they want to get they want to build like a subscribership, and I think once I think soon they're gonna put it on Tubi.
Cool.
So that'll be cool too.
Tubular.
Right. Totally tubular, dude. But yeah, it was I had a really good time filming that one, and like that's what I figured I'd come on here and promote that show for them. Jalen Knight, shout out to Jalen. He was one of the producers, and from the Film Spot, they made a new little film company called the Film Spot, and all good people. Joey Solo. So I'm excited to see this. And this is just season 1. They want to do more seasons.
Cool.
So yeah. So I don't know when they want to start back up. Maybe in the next few months. I'll have to ask them. But yeah, that was a really good experience.
And remind us, what's the name of it again?
The Puppe.
So
Puppe.
It's like, how do you spell that?
Puppe.
Puppe.
With like a
little fancy.
Yeah.
We'll definitely put the link in the description below so folks can check it out. That's really cool, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's fun too when you go to a table read and you kind of get goosebumps, like you said, just kind of looking around like, oh shit, this is really good.
Right?
This is gonna be fun.
Hell yeah,
that
it
anticipation.
was totally like that for sure.
Do you do any sort of writing or anything on your own?
I do. For my demo scene workshops, I'll write a lot of the scenes. I'll have Nico do some of them. I'll write some of them. So yeah, I do. That's that's really the only writing I do, I think. What about you?
A little bit. I think we got your clip right here too. We're gonna pull it up.
All right.
Let's check it out.
All I'm trying to say is that we need to cover all of our bases and investigate any and all potential leads. And if nothing comes from it, then I'll drop it.
What's that?
Okay? You have my word.
Okay, partner. I'm trusting you. Don't let me down. It's been another missing person.
Oh, you want to
This time we've got a lead.
Go.
Sorry for you guys. Hold tight.
All I'm trying to say is that we need to cover all of our bases and investigate any and all potential leads. And if nothing comes from it, then I'll drop it. Okay? You have my word.
Okay, partner. I'm trusting you. Don't let me down. It's been another missing person. This time we've got a lead.
Go.
Is that it? I think that was
That's it. That's cool, man. You make a good cop.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I literally get I feel like 3 or 4 out of 5 of my auditions usually is to play a cop.
Yeah,
Which I'm fine with. I'm cool with that typecast.
it's a good gig.
It's better than it could be a lot worse. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a clown in makeup, right?
Right.
At least for this time.
Your mom was a cop, right?
Yeah, my mom was a cop. She was a sergeant for the Chicago Police Department. She worked everywhere, man. She was in Cabrini Green. She worked in headquarters. She was going for her lieutenant's test before she passed away. So, yeah, man. It's always good. Whenever I see you as a cop, I'm like, that's my buddy. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see a guy in uniform, you know?
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's fun. Your mom was a real cop, though. I just play one on TV.
Well, you're a hero too, Matt. Don't forget, you work for Case Files, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a noble job. It's hard. It's fucking stressful though, man. Like you were saying, it's so hard to come home and try to decompress from stuff like that. And it was hard. I think growing up from it, I wanted to be a cop when I was a kid until I was a little older, and I kind of realized that how hard it is to kind of turn that switch on and off.
Yeah.
Like of cop mode, because when you're a cop, you're on duty all the time. You know what I mean? Like my mom was bringing her gun to the grocery store, to church, like so it was interesting to see it through that filter when I was older. Because like I said, it's hard. It's not like a hat you can just go hang up at the end of the night and then you're a parent at that point. You're kind of a little bit always on guard for everything.
Right.
So
I would imagine if you like arrest somebody that's a fucking idiot, they get out a couple weeks later, they have like a grudge or something. You're like always like have to be on point.
Right.
Sure, like,
And your family's in safety is it's hard, man. It's really fucked up. Give them all the credit in the world. It's a really hard job, but yeah, man, not something I think I want to do. Like you said, maybe play one. That'd be cool. But
stay
other
safe.
than that, no, not into it too much. Well, where would you like to see yourself maybe 5-10 years down the line, Matthew?
I feel like in a perfect world, I think it'd be pretty cool to be like a series regular on a TV show, because I do enjoy acting a lot more than I enjoy producing. And it's not that I don't enjoy producing; it's just a little more stressful. You got to you got to make sure everybody's taken care of and okay. And hey, pay for my parking. Like, okay,
Yeah.
fuck, you're killing my budget here. So, I would, if I could just do that every day and just acting every day, that'd be amazing. And then maybe produce a few things like on the side that I'm also acting in, which I've done before. But I don't just if I'm producing something, like I could have put myself a role every time. I'm objective. Like I will only put myself in it if I think I'm really the best one for the job.
Sure.
So, and I'm really transparent with casting too. That's why I was pissed off. I was like doing a commercial for Panera Bread with these two ladies that were from California that came in. They were the other producers, and they're like, yeah, Matt, we're gonna do a Blackhawks like package, advertisement package, like a commercial and like bus stop ads, and on the side of the bus stop and all sorts of shit. And they're like, it was all around that whole time though of like forcing inclusion, and they were like, we only want to see like I think they told me like Asian and some one other race only. And I'm like, well, why only? Like, why don't we invite everybody and pick the best person for the job? You're skipping 2 steps here. You like push, you know what I mean? The step was give everybody a chance to audition, a chance for the job, no matter what job it is, And so I always tell the story of we were doing this film, and one of the roles was to play. One of the roles was like 50s. There was like a clothing store owner, like those women's boutique shops, like like just women's clothes in there. So we're, obviously you have a thing that you're thinking of first. Like we were picturing like blonde, European accent, maybe Polish accent or something cool like that, like some kind of European vibe. I'm like, no, honey, you coming in when I tell you you're coming in, like, and so I invited a lot of that fit that type, but I also invited. Like I looked through all the submissions and I invited women from every nationality, and every background. And so we saw a lot of we were loving what we were seeing. We were seeing these ladies come in with the accents, and we were like, nice, this is good, this is good. And then all of a sudden, this black lady comes in, and she goes, honey, you come in when I tell you. And then she did it all. And when she left, we were like, dude, that was good. And then we booked her for it instead. So you know, I feel like that's the proper way to approach things. You can always have that image in your head of what you're thinking the role, what the person should be, what you're thinking like would be a good thing, but you got to give everybody a chance.
Sure.
You know, so if we just only invited like the European ladies, we would have never saw her, and she was the best one for the job. And that's just, I don't know, I just think that's how it should be. And so I told the two chicks, I was like, I'm not interested in being part of it then. I'm sorry. Like I love the Hawks, like that'd be an awesome thing to work on, but if you're gonna do that shit, like sorry, I'm out. And that for that reason, I'm out.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. You know, you've been working long enough, you can opt out of things when you choose not to. Yeah.
Right.
You know, if money weren't an option, what project would you like to work on next?
I wanted to write my own script. I have the storyline down on like note cards, so I eventually needed to put it into a script form, and I had the whole story in my head. Like I worked on this story in my head for like a few years, and I would tell me and Andrew would go at home after case files and like play like Mario Golf and shit and like talk about it too. And I think I would love to finally get that thing filmed if I could. We might have to do it like guerrilla, low budget for now, but if it means just to get it done, like we have enough good cameras now and maybe some people that could get out there, but it's a feature film, so it's a tough undertaking. But you know, I'm not going to give you the elevator pitch, but
If you want to.
Give him the elevator.
Yeah. It's basically, I would play a guy that's like a corporate dude, like a stockbroker or something like that, and used to play college sports. So like one of my friends would be like my friend from childhood or something would tell me, oh, Benny's trying out for the baseball team or the basketball team. Like, could you help him get prepared for that, you know? So then you see me like going either hitting grounders with them, or like if whatever it is, it's gonna be baseball or basketball or something, I'll be like helping coaching him. And then one day it's like I'm out on a boat, like I'm partying whatever, and then like she calls me, she's like, where are you, like, are you picking up Benny? I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. So then I call him and be like, hey dude, you know you have a bus pass, right? Like, just take the bus, meet me at the gym or meet me at the baseball field, and I'll meet you there, you know. And then like, so it'd be like he's getting, you know, transfer stop, you know, sometimes you have to transfer take one bus north. We have a great public transportation system, by the way. So it's like if he was transferring, he's just waiting in the bus shelter, and then he gets hit with like a stray bullet, and then I'm like, I get to the hospital and she's like, what the fuck? Like, she's pissed at me, you know. So it's like my fault kind of, and then I like make it my mission to find out who the fuck did this, you know. So then I like go in and like start going around the neighborhood trying to figure out like what gang this is, and I find out like, yo, it's the fucking Latin Cobras, like some corner store dude, like
Those guys singing in the leather jackets on the corner.
Yeah. So then I find out from like the convenience store dude, he's like, yeah, it's the black Latin Cobras or whatever, you know, make up a cool name. I think Cobras, like something Cobras would be cool. That's cool. And then some like, really, where do they fucking hang out at? And they're like, oh, this is their block. So like, I'll pull up in like a sick car, like you guys like this shit? Like, yeah, man, like fuck yeah. So then I'll start like, yeah, I can get these cars, dude, like no problem. So I infiltrate my way into the gang like that way, cool. Like start coming around, hanging around, and then like one day the boss shows up, and I got the perfect dude for this, like play like this badass, like, you know, Latin gangster dude, and he'd be like, come take a ride with me, like get in the limo, and he's like, so what are you, like, you're a trader, like a stock trader? He's like, gives me a bag of cash, he's like, there's 20 grand in here, he's like, you know, next Friday I'll come back, I need this fucking doubled. And I'm like, hey, whoa, dude, it doesn't work that. He's like, I don't give a fuck how it works, you know. you're gonna double this by Friday, or maybe it'll just kill you. I don't know, like. So then I'm like, and he just throws me out of the limo,
Dang.
And then so then I go, I'm trying to trade and get this like all week. You see me like trading and trying to flip this, double this shit, and it's it's like Thursday now, and I have not doubled it yet. So then I take the rest of the money and like go put it on, like go on like an underground roulette, like, game or something. Just put it on there and I hit it. So when I come back, I have I'm like, I got the cash, I doubled it, and then I give it to him in the limo. And he opens the bag. He's like, good. Then he throws it back to me and he's like, now double this. And I'm like, dude, like what? So then I go back and double. Then it turns into me and him start making money together, and then it's like a montage of like all these like champagne and like money, and then I kind of forget, and like one night I lose sight of it, and I see the picture of Benny. I'm like, oh, I forgot what I'm really doing this for. Then eventually find out who the shooter was. I eventually fuck his girlfriend, and then
You have to.
You got it.
yeah. So then bang his girlfriend, and then set him up, like called to my cop buddies, totally set him up, and like they get him, and then that's pretty much the wrap,
And I fucked your girl.
Yeah, very important part.
So when does this come out? I want to see it already.
Right? Like I'm telling you, like that would be. I would love to get that one done if I could, at some point.
What do you think the best
Oh,
way?
I want you can play my cop buddy, like because there's a in the what's it called in the story. That's how I find out some other shit. Is like I have lunch with my cop friend. You play the cop.
I'd love to.
And like he's a patrol guy, and like so.
I work for donuts.
So then I'm like asking you shit, and you're like, you tell me something, like, wait a minute, he's like, don't do anything stupid. I'm like, no, I won't, like, and I do, but so that's an important part of the thing too, yeah.
Cool.
If I do it, that's you.
Hey, sign me up, brother. I'm down
Yeah.
for it. Anything you do, I'm down for, man. That sounds fun.
Yeah. So hopefully, maybe one day we could do it.
What do you think the best way for an artist who wants to make a film to get it off the ground as far as funding goes?
See, that's the hardest part, and I'm not a funding guy, like so. Like I just make the shit, So like that's always the hardest part. Like I feel like the easiest way is to kind of get like a grant or something. Mm-hmm. But I've been lucky to have some clients that were able to give me enough money. Like I think the one pilot we did, the guy had $25,000 for it. That's a lot. Like I could do a lot with that. Mm-hmm. Would love to have $500,000 to do that one, but I've got it done for like $25,000. I was able to plan it out, make it stretch, and do the whole thing. But not everybody has $25,000 laying around to make their own film and shit. Quick story about that one, where I was wondering, I'm like, what do these guys do? Like, I just thought they owned like a couple of restaurants or something. And then one day, one of my camera dudes, Mane Gomez, texts me like this article, and he's like, dude, did you fucking see this shit? And it was the dude, he was like caught robbing a bank, and I was like, what? Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, that's okay. Now I'm starting to see where some of this money might have been coming from.
Did you stop the production or like?
No, we already made it.
Oh, you already made it.
Yeah. So I was like, holy shit, dude. And it's kind of similar to like, I used to play softball in Humboldt Park, and I was like the only white dude, and like it would be like half Puerto Rican dudes and half Mexican dudes on my team, and they were always funny because they were always mess with each other about being Mexicans would mess with the Puerto Rican guys, like playfully though, like about each of their respective cultures, like, yeah, you guys always eating this fucking flautas, I don't know what you're doing, like, just playful, just ribbing, Mm-hmm. And then there was me, and then it was funny because there was a cop on our team, there's 2 gang members on the team, and I'm just like on this team, it was like insane. One of the dudes that was in a gang, he had his son, they both had kids, he had a son. He got approached by older dudes in the gang, and they were like, hey, you need to take the fall for this one dude because you're 17 and you'll have a lighter sentence. You'll get out. Like, you just go to boot camp for like 2 years and like, you do this for us. Like, we'll take care of your family, we'll pay for the lawyer fees. And then so he did. He took the fall for this older dude, and they didn't do any of the shit that they said they were going to do. And so, but the blessing with that was when he got out, he was able to walk away from the gang, be like, hey, you guys didn't do what you said, like, I'm out. Like, and usually it would be like blood in, blood out. Like, usually if you try to leave some of these gangs, they'll just kill you. So luckily for him, he was able, that was his free exit in a sense, you know? And it's great to see, because then he was there for his son, coaching his son in baseball, and it was a really good ending to that story. With the other guy, it wasn't a good ending for him. He was at like the Puerto Rican Day Parade one year, and he's already a felon. He wasn't supposed to have a gun on him in the first place, so he had a gun. And like one morning, I wake up, I'm like scrolling through Facebook, and like I'm coming past this like ABC7 like news article, and I stop. I'm like, it's his mugshot, and like in the article, and I'm like, and I like rub my eyes. I'm like, well, hold on, am I still dreaming? Like, what's like? I looked at him like, oh my God, that's fucking my boy. And I called his dad, and I was like, what the hell's going on? He's like, man, they got my son, man. I was like, what happened? And he said that they were at the Puerto Rican Day Parade. All of a sudden, you see this like Jeep Wrangler coming down the drive that goes all around the softball parks. I think it's Luis Munoz Drive or something. Said this black Wrangler just starts barreling down and starts like crashing into all the cars that are like parked. And so this group of dudes like try to stop him, like, yo, you're not going anywhere. What the fuck? What are you doing? And then they get up to there, and like they see this girl was driving, and then this dude was in the shotgun seat, and I guess they were like engaged. But then they were in there with a bottle of like tequila, like absolutely hammered. And then they were trying to leave, and like these dudes were trying to stop them from leaving because they just damaged all these cars.
Sure.
And then I guess my friend was kind of coming up in the back of, he should have stayed out of this, but he comes up from the back of the group, and he sees like the dude in the passenger seat. He's pulling out a gun. So like that dude starts, right as he shoots at the crowd, his fiance leans forward, and the bullet hit her in the head.
No way.
And in the split second, my buddy already fired his gun. So in a matter of like 2 seconds, this girl got hit, and then the other bullet from my friend's gun came and hit the passengers. So in the matter of 2 seconds, these engaged couple both are dead.
Wow.
And then he took off for the border. They found him in San Diego in a motel with 40 grand cash. He almost made it to Mexico, but the U.S. Marshals like caught him like before he was able to get out of there. And it's just fucking sad, dude, because he's got a son and a daughter, and he's going to jail for life. Like, so, and he's not gonna be able to be there for them, and it's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know. So like two different tales ended up two different ways, and that was kind of rough to see that, you know.
Yeah, man, it's, you know, crime is such a hard thing, and no one ever really wins in the end, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard. Especially like you were saying, like, you know, it's one thing to have protection, have a gun for good reason, you know.
Yeah.
When you see something like that, you know, it's better to, you know, have some sort of protection. But man, like even like with the cops, it's a split second decision that can alter the course of your life.
Literally.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
Are you a gun guy, if you don't mind me asking?
My uncle bought me a rifle for Christmas one year, and when we go to, my dad's from Southern Illinois, so what we would do is, even before that, we would go one day out, like they still had this one property kind of like with a wooded area with a creek that ran through it, and we would like, we call them targets. Like my uncle would get a case of beer, and like we would these would turn in, we would slam these beers, and like then we would throw them in the frozen creek, and those are our little targets. And we would come with like, also my grandma is obsessed with like Coca-Cola, so we would bring a bunch of those cans, and we would throw all these cans in the creek, and when we finish a beer, like throw it in there, and make the cans just dance in the air, like. So it's for me, it's like fun for the first 1 or 2 rounds, and then I'm like over it,
Right.
Make the cans fly, and then you're like, all right, we see like we got it, like and it's always cold because it's always during Christmas, so we're like, all right, let's get out of here.
Sure.
So I'm not a huge on it. Like, it's fun for a little bit. I don't need to have a gun. My buddy was actually at the Jason Aldean concert in Vegas
one. Yeah.
and he was like front right by the stage, and like all of a sudden the shots started popping up, and no one knew what was like going on. They thought something was, the speakers were getting distorted or something, and then they realized like people are going down, and then everyone just starts panicking, and so he had to get from like the front right of the stage to the back left to get on the exit, I guess. And he said he was like hurtling over dead bodies to get out of there, and like ended up in a hotel room with like 50 strangers, like hiding, until it was like safe. So he's like that. We could have lost him there, and so he became like a really big enthusiast about like anti-gun laws and shit. So like, I mean, yeah, I'm kind of with him. Like, we don't need him. Like, I don't need to have you take I don't need my rifle. Like, I don't really care that much. If it means for like the greater good of like society, I guess.
Sure.
And I know I had a lot of teammates from the South that were like obsessed with hunting, and they love their guns, and so it's like, it sucks for people like that really enjoy it, and if it comes down to it. But yeah, I don't know. What about you?
A little bit, I was always taught speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, I just my home protection.
Yeah.
Other than that, not really. I'm a fucking hell of a shot though, man.
Hell yeah.
Growing up in a cop family, I
bet you would Panama Red.
yeah. I had my candy cigarettes as a kid, shooting BB guns.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's one of those things that it's so ingrained in American culture that like it's hard to tell people who live where there's a lot of land, no, you can't have a gun, because it's like, well, you have pigs and alligators and wildcats that are like, going over your property. So it's hard to tell people like that you can't have a gun. But
Right.
man, like when you're in the city, probably a lot more logical to tell people they can't have a full-on assault rifle in a city.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I got my little thing on me.
Yeah,
My thing.
keep that thing.
It's an inherited piece too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it's got a little thing to it. But no, I'm looking to get a new one though, man. I keep reading all these articles about different ones, and mine's kind of outdated. It's a Smith & Wesson 5900. It's a cool like old 90s cop gun.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
And it's sweet, but I'm like you can't put a light on it. You can't add like the red dot and all that. So I'm
it doesn't have like the bridge for the attachment.
yeah.
Oh,
So I'm like, I'm at that point now where I'm like, I'm like, it's good that I have one. I don't know if I want to buy another one because I don't want to like fall down that slippery slope of becoming a gun nut.
Right.
But no, I think it's important for people. It's everyone has the right to bear arms, and I'd rather have something on me because I know that the fucking crazy guy who lives down the street has something 10 times bigger than mine. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
And when shit goes down, like even in a apocalyptic world, God forbid,
Right.
it's good to have something, man.
Yeah, I mean, I always wondered if I should get like a handgun to like put in the side door of my truck, just in case somebody tries to carjack me like in traffic or something. Like maybe
Right.
I'll have that and
Fuck around and find out.
right. What about you, Jay?
I appreciate guns. I don't have any myself. My brother does, so I've shot a couple. I couldn't tell you which ones. He's got like a couple handguns. He's got
Yeah.
like a fucking big fucking AR looking thing. It's not an AR, but it looks like one.
Right.
I don't know, man. I've been to like other countries where it's really hard unless you're like a military or police officer to get a gun, and the police are like way more corrupt over there. The people in like the military just think they can do whatever the fuck they want. Civilians can defend themselves against like let's say a group of cops decides to like do some bullshit, which in third world countries that I've gone to, it's very common where cops are just like, I'm gonna go fuck with this group of people just because they'll probably give me like $20 each or something like that. Here they could, but like they probably won't because they don't know how many of you have a gun or not. You know what I mean? Right. So I personally don't have any, but I appreciate them, and I can see why people would want some.
Yeah.
I can see why Americans are like, yeah, guns, even though like it should be harder to get one though, because
totally.
I was able to get my FOID card in like 30 minutes and like $120.
Yeah.
And then to get my conceal and carry, it was just like a 1-day class, and that was it.
Right.
So technically,
Right.
if I wanted to, I can like walk around with a gun, and like the psychological evaluation was just a couple questions long, and I'm just like, I could have been stupid crazy, gotten my FOID card, gotten my conceal and carry, and then gone killed people. But like,
Yeah.
it should be way harder to get. Like,
Right.
It should not be that easy.
I'm with you on that. When I actually got my FOID card during the pandemic, because I was like, dude, if shit's going down, like I want to be protected. So it was funny when COVID hit, I was laid off from my job. I was a tour guide, and they replaced us with pre-recorded audio.
Yeah, you were so good at that too.
Thank you, man. I loved it. It was so fun. But you know, it sucked that when that happened, I got laid off, right? And the whole entire fleet did. But at that time, you know, everyone was baking sourdough bread or this and that. Right. I was like, I'm going to go online and get certified in everything that I can nowadays. So I got like CPR certified. I got my FOID card. I got my dog as an emotional support animal. I was just going down the line trying to see I was bored. It was pandemic. Yeah. But the sad thing was though, is that because like, you know, I got laid off, and at that point I had to file for unemployment. I got my FOID card way faster than I ever got unemployment. Yep. And like, how fucking seriously, like, and how crazy is that to like say that as a society that like somebody could just go and get a firearm quicker than they can get help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not safe.
Right? Like the system's fucked.
And in terms of like the gangs, at least a lot of them I guess go to Indiana to get guns and bring them back here, or they'll just steal people's guns, and so all these like unregistered guns are floating around, and
right.
So it's one of those things where like some people are ruining it for everybody else. I feel like, do you hit like the range a lot, or?
From time to time I will, if I ever just need to blow off some steam or something.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it like that because that sounds psychotic. No, I actually got some cool headphones, man. I got these like soundproof headphones, but they're Bluetooth compatible. So I'm listening to like Kid Rock, Ba Wada Ba, and like, you know,
great song.
It's so great, especially when you got a firearm too. You like, my dick grew 2 inches that day. I will say it
helps with.
It helps with. I'm built for grow, not for show. So I needed all the help I can get.
Adds a little length to it.
A little bit. I'm not like putting like testicles on the back of my truck or anything, but, you know,
not get that step yet.
Yeah, no, I don't think I'll ever get to that step.
I put ball sacks on my bicycle seat.
I've seen those balls, and they light up too. It's funny. We were doing critical mass, and Jay keeps reaching down, like grabbing his light up balls under his seat. Keep doing double checks. Like, what?
Oh, you really have?
Yeah, It's like a little like they look like ball sacks, and you just put them, you attach them to whatever. I just attached it to my bicycle seat.
That's fucking hilarious.
And they're rubber too. They got a nice little texture to them. Got a squeeze to them. Got some cojones.
That's awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
We're getting just about that point to kind of wrap it up here, but I was hoping, you know, you're an athlete. I was hoping maybe you can talk a little bit about your experience as an athlete. You played college football for a while. You did some baseball as well.
I played baseball and basketball in high school, and I and football, but like I committed first to play baseball at Northern Illinois. So I already committed there, and I told the coach I was coming, and one day one of my dad's good friends, he played for college, and he played on the Steelers for a little bit. He's this big, like 6'6", like fucking dude, like macho fucking, and he's absolutely hilarious. He calls me, he's like, "What's this fucking shit I hear about you fucking playing baseball? This is fucking pussy shit." And I'm like, "Hold on, baseball is sick, like let's relax." He's like, "Give me your fucking football highlight tape. I'm sick of this shit." And I'm like, "All right, relax. What are you gonna do?" He's like, he's like, just fucking give me the tape. So I go in and like put together a football highlight tape, and I give it to him. And then he sends it to Oklahoma State, Louisiana, Lafayette, and Stephen F. Austin. So kind of like 3 different little tiers of schools. I heard back from Louisiana and Stephen F. Austin, not from Oklahoma State, but it'll come back later in the story, which is funny. He's like, these 2 are interested. Like, he's like, I played at Louisiana. Please just let me take you on like a trip. Just try it. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Fine, I'll go with you. So he takes me down to Louisiana, and so it's the Lafayette campus is about 30 minutes from where they make Tabasco. So it's kind of like Southwest Louisiana, like almost to Texas. And he gave me the full experience with these guys. Like, got all the good Cajun food, and they had me in the president's box and talking to me, like convinced me to go there, and took me in the student union. There was like a swamp in front of the student union, and there's gators swimming around in there and turtles and shit. And I was like, all right, this is kind of sick actually. And I knew some people that went to Northern, and they just hated it. A couple of people that I knew that went there. So then I was like, that was in the back of my mind. And so then I ended up decommitting to NIU, and I was like, all right, I'm coming to Louisiana. This is dope. And it was probably one of the best decisions that I ever made, because I had such a good time down there. And I was playing at Peanut Tillman's old school. He went there too, and he was balling out on the Bears while I was down there. So that was kind of cool. And I eventually, when I got out of college, I met him at one of his he would do these bowling event fundraisers and stuff. So I met him at one of his things, and I went up to him, shook his hand. I was like, hey, listen, man, I just want to let you know, like, it meant a lot to me when I was playing for your school, and like you were like balling out on the Bears, and this dude, like, he wouldn't let go of my hand. He just like direct eye contact with me like the whole time I was talking to him, and like it was the most genuine interaction that I could imagine. And I was like, what are you doing right now? And he's like, I'm in the FBI. Did you know that Peanut's in the FBI now?
No, that's wild.
Yeah. So I was like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, I swear to God. He's like, FBI Chicago. So, and then he was like, at the time too, he just was in the middle. Remember who he like built a boat by himself, and like I don't know if you knew this, but like he raised money for his daughter had some kind of like illness or disease or something going on with her. So he raised a bunch of money that he could pay for her like medical bills with and stuff. And he built his own boat and then rowed it across Lake Michigan.
Wow.
And he was doing that at the time when I met him. And then the dude's insane. Like one of the best dudes I've ever met. And then even like 2 months ago, I was at PB&J in like Fulton Market, like West Loop area. I don't know if you've been to PB&J yet. It's a fun bar. And all of a sudden, like, I look, and Devin Hester like walks in with his brother and like a bodyguard.
Wow.
And he was just chilling in the back in this little booth section for most of the night, just with them two. And I kind of felt bad. It's like, it sucks when you're that famous, like you can't really experience what everybody else is experiencing. Like, you got to be in the back with a bodyguard and your brother and like just nobody else. Like, I'm sure they have bigger groups sometimes, but this was the same day that he got inducted to the Bears Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
And I caught him on the way out, and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, you were like my favorite player. Like, I wore number 23 because of you. I'm like, 20% because of Jordan, but 80% you know.
Sure.
Maybe 50-50. And he's like cracking up, and I was like, no, but I appreciate it, man. Like, you're like my fucking favorite player. Wow. So I got to meet him, so that was cool.
How about that punt return in the Super Bowl? I thought he had it in the bag, dude.
Dude,
he had it in the bag. The rest of the team didn't.
It made me nervous because that same year Ohio State played Florida in the national championship, and Florida's dude ran the first kickback, and then they lost. So I was like, oh, this is not good, because Florida did this, and they ended up losing to Ohio State. And then sure enough, Bears, he takes the opening kickback. That was the craziest vehicle. Lights are flashing in the crowd, and like he's taking off, and
isn't it like 90 yards he ran?
Yeah, or like more. I think he caught it like the 2. It's like just took it all the way back, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, because this. And then fucking Peyton Manning, dude, beat us. I wish we damn, I wish we had that one. But who would we have? Like Rex Grossman.
Grossman was QB. Yeah, wasn't Tank Johnson on the team then too?
Yeah, I mean they had I'm pretty sure. Yeah, number 99 was it? Yeah, no, they had. We were stacked, but it was just like it was odd because we were so reliant on our defense. Like Urlacher would just pick six, take one back to the house. Like the defense really like took over games for us and was our offense at some points.
Right.
You know, and Rex Grossman took us all the way. Like I mean, you know, he was not bad. He played at Florida too, but he's by no means like Peyton Manning.
Sure.
You know, but the Bears have always just been so defense heavy, and I wish we got that one, man. But that would have been nice. You know, we haven't since '85.
Well,
you
they
know?
might be the next team. We don't know. Hopefully.
Hey, we'll see what this Ben Johnson guy does. I mean, he did a great job in Detroit. You know, I was kind of hoping we got that Vrabel dude that was on the Patriots. He's more of like a Dan Campbell type, like the Lions head coach. This guy's Ben Johnson is like just a really nifty offensive coordinator. But I'm interested to see. Like, I'm optimistic. I'm not gonna. Some of my buddies that are big Bears fans too, like, they get all excited in the preseason when we're making these moves, and you know, it's like, oh, hold on, guys, we got Caleb Williams, okay, but let's relax. We didn't win anything yet.
Right.
You know, don't like. I feel like the preseason for the Bears is like that's our Super Bowl. Everybody gets so excited about the upcoming season. And it's like, well, let's just see what we do. Let's get excited when we make the playoffs.
When are they going to give you a call into the big show, baby?
I mean, I think me and the Bears were just like two ships in the night.
Missed
my shot. Yeah. No, some of my teammates from college made it to the NFL though, and it's just so cutthroat, man. It's like when my buddy Bill Bentley, he got drafted by the Lions on a $3 million deal, and I think in his second or third season he blew out his ACL and they just waived him. And it's just like, all right, bye, thank you. Like, it's just, if you ever watch Hard Knocks too, it's like so cutthroat. Like, they tell you like, yeah, grab your iPad and meet in the coach's office. You're like, oh shit, they want that. Then you know it's over. And like, I remember this one episode, this dude, as he's sitting down, he didn't even fully sit down yet, and the coach goes, yeah, so we're gonna let you go. You know, and he's like, oh shit, like, okay, like, but it's just so cutthroat. I feel like they got to make cuts every year, and it's just, it's tough. It's not easy to.
And that's one of those sports that, like, if you got a bad tear or something, you're out. Your whole career is just shot. You know.
Yeah.
Compared to like baseball or something where you can kind of keep playing if you can take a serious injury, right?
Yeah, just depends on what it is. Like, yeah, the knee stuff is hard to come back from.
Yeah.
You know, and it's when they dudes that tear the same thing like twice or 2 or 3 times, that's got to be tough. You don't know if cartilage or ligaments left to even play with, I guess.
That's why you save up that money, man. Get that bag and don't fumble it, right?
No pun intended.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Dude, yeah. Right?
But risk and reward, right? Risk and reward.
That's right.
Well, hey, man, we're getting to just about that time to start wrapping it up here. Did you have any last messages you want to send out to the world from this episode?
No, I think we covered everything, really. Thanks again, you guys, for having me on. It's been a pleasure and an honor. If you need me again, I'll be right back in it.
Appreciate it, brother. Yeah, anytime you got any projects you're trying to promote, this is the place to do it, man.
Yeah, I know you guys. I know you guys fill up quick. So.
Hey. We're pretty busy guys. We're trying.
Yeah. No, I'm proud of everything that you guys have done building up the show and everything. This studio is awesome.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, Matt, sincerely, it's been an honor and a pleasure knowing you for these many years, man. You've been nothing but a good friend, motivational, professional, kind, empathetic, and you really are making a difference, man. You know, like I was saying, you're bridging the gap for a lot of these people, and that's a really noble thing, and it's a really big thing and really important. And I know a lot of people look up to you, brother. And me and Jay both thank you very much for being a part of the show, and all those guys out there watching right now greatly appreciate the opportunities that you're presenting all these guys. So keep it up, brother. It's only the sky's the limit, right?
That's right. And thanks for introducing me. It was great meeting you too, Jay. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you for coming, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thanks again, man. We really appreciate it. Well, we're going to send it on out to you guys. If you guys are interested in seeing any of Matt Campbell's stuff, We got all of his information down in the description below. Be sure to check out his new feature, his new series that he's working on right now.
Yeah.
Parpay?
The Papay.
The Papay with an E accent. We'll have the link down there below. Check it out. Give it a share. Give it a subscribe. It means the absolute world to our artists to do that. So we encourage you to do that. Again, Matt, thank you for joining us. And well, me and Jay usually have a little sign off at the end of each episode. And can I take this one? Because I got a good one. I got a good one.
Go for it.
And this isn't directed at any personal person that I know. But I was made aware the other day that, well, I've always known this, I guess, is that your words carry a lot of meaning. Your words carry a lot of weight. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, and it's very true. Even in your own personal life, the ideas and the words that you say create your reality. Whether it's positive talk, negative talk, the people you surround yourself with, the ideas you're talking about, the conversations you're having, it really warps your reality, for better or for worse. And I guess my big challenge for everybody this week is to be kinder to yourself, be kinder to other people, spread generosity, spread kindness, spread love, especially to yourself. People need to do more self-love these days.
And spread some cheeks.
Spread some cheeks and tap some cheeks and clap some cheeks. Yeah, give it a love tap. Give it a love tap to your life. But thank you guys again for joining us. Hawkwind's Radio Picture Show. We're here every Wednesday at the beautiful Q4 Radio. My name is Jack Dwyer.
And I'm Jay Smooth.
Thank you guys.